March madness begins. March is the craziest, most intense and happening month in 2025. We're going to have two eclipses. We're going to have Venus and Mercury going retrograde. We're going to have Neptune moving into Aries. Bam, bam, bam. Each one of those events is big astrological events. Put all five together, and I called it March Madness. So this is very important to watch, to be prepared. The layers will be shifting, the directions of our lives with eclipses, fated events get activated in our lives. With retrograde planets, we turn direction, we start changing how we feel, think, and feel about something. With eclipses, we totally derail the train onto another direction, basically. So, wow. And it's all happening in Aries, around the Aries area. But actually, to know specifically how this is going to affect you, you can, even if you're not looking at this video, you can just go to my transit calendar, personal transit calendar at astrolada.com, enter your birth details. No one else in the world will have the same transits like you have. These videos that I do for each of the 12 signs, they're just for your ascendant sign or sun sign or moon sign. But this calculator calculates every position of the planet in your horoscope. Is it Saturn? Is it Mercury? Is it Venus? And it gives you the transits that you're going to have day by day. It's only free for 7 days, but each 7 days it gets updated. So you always see 7 days ahead, but you can open for a longer period. And if you want to see those eclipses, one in Virgo, one in Aries, will directly affect you, you can check. For example, this is my horoscope. The eclipse is directly affecting me. It's conjunct my Mercury. It will totally turn around anything connected with Mercury in my horoscope. And look how many extensive interpretations there are. Or what other transits will retrograde Venus directly? They affect you directly. You look at transits of Venus. Oh yes, retrograde Venus will be opposite my Jupiter. Retrograde Venus will be square trine my Uranus. You can see much more specifically than those videos how you will be affected. And of course, we end with Neptune in Aries. Crazy. The eclipse, I don't know what's going to happen with the world. Let me just be honest. There might be big revelation of markets with those retrogrades, Mercury and Venus next to Saturn, next to Neptune, eclipse on the same degree. Some big news with wars and peace, because it's all happening in Aries. The world either getting in arms or disarming. I don't know which way it goes exactly. Big eclipse, lunar eclipse in Virgo. Virgo is the sign of the working class people, is the sign of the medical and hospital industries and the diseases as well. So where is going to hit us from? I don't know. This eclipse in Virgo is exactly opposite Saturn and opposite Neptune. So you have to be more careful with health, because this is the axis of illnesses, diseases as well, water, matters connected to water. But then all the action is also in Aries. So we have water, fire. Let's start. I'm not going to go for the whole world, but individually, because you're important, how you're going to deal with these energies in your life. And believe me, this is once in a year, very rare opportunity, a lifetime, to really reset in a big way a certain area of your life where all this action is happening, whatever areas is. Let's begin. And by the way, I have 5-hour video for Neptune in Aries, for each one individually, only for personal predictions. It's only $20. It covers all possible transits Neptune can have to personal planets over the next 13 years, sextiles, trines, oppositions on Neptune through each house, and they're all full of personal stories that I've watched people for the last 20 years, how they overcome Neptune transit, what happens in their life. I give you many stories from the highest to the lowest, remedies how to deal with that, and I also explain to you how to find all the transits. Very easy, you don't need to know any astrology. This is my love of work, my work of love, sorry. Neptune's affecting me already. For you, if you'd like to get it, I'm putting a link below the description. Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Rising, March 2025. Taurus, the month starts with Venus, your planet, turning retrograde. It happens once every 18 months that Venus turns retrograde, so you're kind of familiar with this energy. Venus has turned retrograde in your 12th house again in 2016, around the spring again. Think back to it, but it's never the same, because other planets are in different places, so don't think that the same things will repeat. But it's your planet turns retrograde, so it's time for you to review some things from the past. So sometimes things can slow down then. Most of March, most of April, you just imagine you're heading towards some direction, you have a goal and a plan, and then you have to make a loop and turn back. You forgot something, you dropped something, you overlooked something. But the goal for Venus is for good, because Venus wants to make things more harmonious, more balanced, ultimately better for you. And Mercury turns retrograde in the middle of the month as well in your 12th house. So you're going to have two retrograde planets most of the month in your 12th house. Now, let's start with the bit more negative things. What can it be? Well, we can discover some secrets. 12th house is the things we don't see that stay behind our back. If you are here, Taurus, and this is the normal way of moving, the 12th house is right behind your back. So Mercury and Venus say, okay, there's something you missed, something that you didn't see. Maybe you did it because Venus is retrograde, that rules you. Maybe someone else did it because Mercury and Venus can also be other people in your life. I don't know, someone in family, or someone not a partner. Sorry, not partner, but something at your work, as Venus rules your 6th house, that you didn't complete, didn't finish, overlooked in some way, or that you come back and bring to life. Mercury also rules your 5th house, romantically, or creative project, or something with your children that you need to dig back and figure out what it is, or you'll be shown what it is, so you can correct it in some way. But because they're in the 12th house, it means that some secrets will come out. Sometimes you can look at it, experiences as secrets, like someone's been doing something behind your back and you discover about it, or you discover some information that's very important for you, but it's good because it will rebalance the situation. Both Mercury and Venus retrograde like to rebalance things to be more fair. Or sometimes it might be, like I said, secret information, or sometimes it can be that something you are not aware of that catches up with you. And you're like, thanks God, I was missing this piece of information or this, and I'm glad I'm seeing it now, so I can do things a bit differently. Because retrograde planet wants you to do things a bit differently. And of course, they're opposing your 6th house of everyday routines, plans, graphics. So they can be a bit thrown up in the air, your schedules, your appointments at work, or because of other unforeseen circumstances that you have to attend to and that you have to focus on them. And 12th house, it's good to do a research during that time, because it's very good when 12th house is about digging deep, researching, introspective, see things from a different perspective, examine them. And in April, and sometime in April, both planets will turn direct. Then you can implement those new findings or new ways that you've seen of doing things. While you're still when they're retrograde, you're still thinking on them. Okay, so there is a different way I can do this. Maybe this way, maybe making plan B, C, D. So you can feel a bit chaotic during that time. But remember, they'll turn direct in April. Things will, and it means you'd have improved something in your life and you'll start moving in a more balanced, harmonious way. 12th house is also expenses. So yes, there can be some expenses, and Mercury, that's retrograde, rules your 2nd house of finances, one of the financial houses. So it is possible for this to happen. But forewarned is forearmed as well. And this can be expenses that you're enjoying as well, because both planets are benefics, Venus and Mercury. So they might be on a holiday, because Mercury rules your 5th house. Fun things, holidays, children, or that you want to make some, buy something. Mercury rules the second house, something that you consider beautiful, valuable in some way. So that's how some of the expenses might come. It's not necessarily always to be a negative thing. Of course, we can't exclude that, but I just want to show you that there is a good side to it. But of course, I would advise you not to do some drastic financial changes in March. It's more a month to observe, to reconsider different plans and options rather than jump into something brand new financially, for example, because there can be some losses and things that you're not fully seeing. But you can readjust other financial sides, balances. Plus, Jupiter is kind of keeping your financial situation here because it's in your second house. Jupiter is a benefic. So even if things are going out, things are coming in. If money or resources are coming out, they're also coming in. So there is this revolving doors, and you might even want to give for charity. This is the willful involvement with the 12th house, where you give to someone in need. You give to someone that, or a cause, or it doesn't always have to be money. It can be other resources like your skills, your talents, or advice, or that you give more now, because 12th house, its ultimate goal is about kind of giving back to others without expecting things to come back to us. It's charity. It's helping those that maybe helped us in a past lifetime in some way. So look at it as a karmic point. Is even if you lose something, sometimes when 12 house is accentuated, we can lose something, an object or whatever. Think of it, okay, I'm giving back karmically to someone that might need it more, or I'm rebalancing the karmic situation in some way. But again, as I said, it might be just spending on something new, like learning, like something you consider, Mercury is learning, or Venus is on luxury things, of enjoyable things, and so on. But yes, there is this also energy of secretness or something behind the scenes. There might be a past love. Mercury rules the 5th house ruler that secretly gets in touch with you in some way. Or there might be this thing of going back to foreign countries, because 12 houses, faraway places that you've been to, and going to visit them again, going to reconnect with friends or people that are in faraway places, or relatives. It can be sometimes Mercury. So yeah, that's another positive way it can play out. Let's focus on the positive. But just be careful that you need a bit more time to rest with this 12th house energy, or more private time. 12th house is to be alone, so very good remedy for Mercury and Venus retrograde in the 12th house. It might be to do something, because Mercury also rules the 5th house of creativity, something that requires time alone. It might be painting, it might be art, it might be writing, but that uses your own intelligence, your own creative ideas in private. So you need time to go back and to do some creative project or something, or to work behind the scenes on something. So don't get frustrated if things don't move as fast. There is a reason for that, because maybe you'll be able to do it better. Maybe there is some missing piece of information that will help your projects and activities turn out to be, and even work projects, because Venus rules the 6th house of work, that will help you make it better. It's just, remember, it takes a couple of months for Venus to turn direct, Mercury as well. So towards April, the end, and May, you'll see the good results of why those delays happened, if there was such. And the missing information that comes to you. But yeah, for travel and visiting faraway places, of course, with Mercury retrograde travel, it's okay as long as you're going back to a place you've been to before, or something you've been planning for a while and you come back to it now. And the other important event is that there will be 2 eclipses. The first eclipse will be in your fifth house. You see, we have a double whammy energy with this fifth house. Its ruler turns retrograde on the 14th, 15th, and there is an eclipse in your fifth house on the same day, on the 14th, 15th. So give or take for an eclipse, lunar eclipse a month before and 2-3 months after its influence, there is this theme for you, Tauruses, about this fifth house that is emphasized. And it might be something about, again, becoming about romantic relationship and certain facts from the past that you didn't know become clear to you now. Or it can mean that a romantic partner from the past comes back for some of you, or for others it can mean this emphasis on creativity, creative project that you have to complete and you have to redo behind the scenes in some way, or maybe seeing the completions, finishing up some creative or business project, because the fifth house is not just creative project, it's anything that is your own project using your own intelligence and God-given independent thinking. This is the house of independent, creative, original thinking. So maybe you're retouching something or coming back to some old previous hobbies or ways to have fun that you have abandoned before, putting light on them. But also, some big with your romantic life. And sometimes an eclipse can be some kind of crisis that you need to change something there or rethink a romantic relationships in some way. Does not necessarily mean it ends. It can mean just some readjustment is needed there. It's also the house of children. There can be some big emphasis on children with this eclipse. And I remember, I know I have a friend who's had an eclipse in the fifth house, and that's exactly on the day of the eclipse she got pregnant with IVF. She's been trying. It was really well planned, and it was a full moon eclipse as well. So, that's another way it can play out. Surprise, surprise. Or fifth house is your existing children. Sometimes there can be some crisis there because this eclipse is a bit hard. It's opposite Saturn, is opposite Neptune. So it's not the easiest. But there might be like a child over the next 2-3 months is completing a phase of their life. So leaves the nest or goes to the next stage in their life, or something where you have to let go of a certain aspect of the relationship because it's an eclipse with the south node. Or that just something is happening in their life that takes your attention as well, and you change something there in the relationship as well. So either romantic partners, these are the loved people, the fifth house, romantic partners, children, your own creative projects, anything that you do with love and with passion. And holidays, again, there's this themes of holidays, of how you have fun. And this full moon eclipse can release you or free you from certain unhealthy ways of having fun, for example, because it's about endings a bit more, this eclipse, or completing a creative project, as I said. So that's another theme. The other eclipse is happening on the 29th of March, and it's happening in your 12th house. Again, this 12th house, so we have double whammy energies. 12th house, triple energy, retrograde Mars, retrograde Mercury, the retrograde Venus, and an eclipse in your 3rd house, which means that by then the sun, moon, and the north node are causing this eclipse, even though it's in Pisces. In your 12th house, doesn't directly affect you with an aspect, but again, some secrets coming to the surface, a restart of this 12th house. What is a restart of the 12th house? It can be, and eclipses can quickly activate you to let go of something from the past, to be free of some self-sabotaging behavior. Addictions can be the 12th house secrets that you're freed from, or some it can start because it's also about new beginnings, this eclipse. You can start some adventure over the next 6 months, because solar eclipses are 6 months in longevity in faraway countries or places, or something connected to spiritualities or psychological work, or anything to do with the imagination, the world of the subconscious that gets activated, or just maybe very vivid dreams this March with such very activated 12th house, or you might be asked to rest more and to release and let go and be more introspective. Don't worry, the energy will start coming back to you from the middle of April onwards, but it might be time now to slow down a little bit. Don't rush to take very new actions and activities in March, because even the eclipse that is about new beginnings in Aries, it's in your 12th house of endings. So it's more like and research and see the circumstances rather than go full in, adjust things, complete things from the past, end things from the past. Watch out, wait it out. This is a good advice to give for Tauruses. So yeah, and the last big event that, and of course you have a lot happening in Pisces, so you can be quite busy as well with social, because you're gonna have first the sun there, you're gonna have Mercury a big part as well, Saturn, Neptune, the North Node is there in your 11th house, so it becomes still very important, the 11th house, which is social contacts, communications with others, in some way, very important developments connected to your long-term goals and projects. But again, there is this slowing down because of the other retrograde planets. And the last event is that Neptune is moving to your 12th house for 6 months only, from the 29th of March, 30th this year, but ultimately from 2026 for 13 years. And Neptune in the 12th house is some of you might not even feel it, but it's about transcending very gradually the level of consciousness you had before, and especially things that subconsciously were blocking you for years. And you'll be working on your subconscious self-sabotaging behaviors, which already the planets are starting to do in your 12th house, but 13 years gradually, the Neptune is like the ocean that gradually washes away at the stone. Like, it might not be suddenly that it breaks down the wall of the stone, gradually washes away. And 12th house is your past, even your past life habits and behaviors that are self-sabotaging. So it can be addictions, it can be unhealthy attachments of any sort that you don't even know why you're attached to this thing. Neptune can create a miracle there to transcend such circumstances. There is a lot more about Neptune in the 12th house, and my video, which is 5 hours about Neptune in Aries, will lead you for the next 13 years how to navigate Neptune, not just through the 12th house, but if you happen to have planets that Neptune will aspect by sextile, trines, this is when miracles happen with ease, or square, or opposition, or conjunction, where again God wants to pour his spirit of transcendence, but it can happen in a bit more challenging ways. And I lead you through remedies, how to handle it. You don't need to know any astrology. I give you examples of real life and people and how they overcame any transit from the sextile to the trine. And again, you don't need any astrology. I explain it for the novice, for absolutely every possible Neptune influence you can have in your life. So Taurus, you see, sleep more, rest more this month in March. Take it easy. If you feel a bit weakened, if you feel like you're letting go of things or ruminating on the past, this is just natural, accepted. And you'll see in April things will start moving forward and becoming more and more clearer in some way. So enjoy this 12th house journey and odyssey in the oceans of your subconscious, of your dream life, more rest, connecting with higher power if you can. Thank you.